a video response to P226Nut. Sorry, I was drinking something there. Non-alcoholic. Little Body Armor strawberry banana. Oh man. If you have not ever indulged in the Body Armor strawberry banana, I highly recommend it. It's so good. Response to your video about church music makes you gay. I agree, man. The more I listen to church music, the gayer I get, for sure. Now, in all seriousness, I mean, as a musician, I never really liked Christian rock, and I know that Bonnet Mom doesn't either. She's a Christian, and she doesn't like Christian rock either. It's funny. It's like you can always detect when somebody's not being genuine in their art. Sorry, I know you guys are hearing like long pauses. Like, what's he doing? I'm drinking. I'm thirsty. I think I finally figured out what I like about you, P226 Nut. Finally figured out what I like about you. You don't have to have any belief systems in common with somebody in order to like them. What you have to have in common with them is a common respect and border. Like, what I noticed about you is that you're not a bandwagon kind of guy. Like, you definitely come off as a libertarian. I don't mean to put you in a box, but I'd say the closest word to describe you politically would be libertarian. You criticize your own kind, which I really that's very refreshing. And I try to be refreshing in the same way I try to criticize Christians, because a lot of Christians piss me off. A lot of Christians are either too permissive, they just anything goes, or they're too far the other direction, where they're just super judgmental and like us for and no more kind of a thing. And Jesus called us to be neither of those things. He called us to be in the middle as Christians. But what I was going to say is, when you said that, part of your movement, but part of the trans movement or whatever is satanic, I said, oh, that's interesting. Where's you going with this? And then you proceeded to talk about how the section of your movement that tries to tell people how to live their lives, and like, we deserve the right to tell your children what to do. And you totally agree that it's something that only an adult can make a decision for themselves on something like that. I couldn't agree with you more, man. Couldn't agree with you more. See, I like that. I like that a lot. I don't understand what you're going through. Probably in the same way that you don't understand what I'm going through. You and I have very different lives. I'm sure we do. You have different influences. You have different cultural background than I do. But again, the common thread is that, hey, you leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. You don't try to push your shit off on me, I won't try to push my shit off on you. And so I think, given that common ground, I'd really like to continue the dialogue. I would like to understand more about what makes you tick, like why you made the decision that you want to be, you were born with male genitalia, but you want to be a woman. I want to understand that. I want to understand, if you don't mind. I mean, and I know I'm asking you to be super vulnerable here, and I apologize. And maybe if I ask you to be vulnerable, then you should ask the same thing of me, that you can ask me whatever you want. And if I expect you to open up like that, then you should expect me to open up like that at the same time. But because I want to understand that. I do. It confounds me. And we mock what we do not understand, right? We tend to mock things that we don't get, right? A foreigner comes into our country from a very different type of a culture, right? Say they come from a Middle Eastern culture or whatever, and they have a lot of strange customs. What do? We laugh at them. Like, what the fuck is wrong with that guy? We don't just look at them in confusion and go, I wonder why he did that. We don't do that. We mock them. We go, look at this fucking guy. Look what he's doing. Look at the clothes he's wearing. Look at the way he wears his hair. I'm not talking about transgenders. I'm talking about, say, like somebody from, Iran. Say like a devout Muslim came over from Iran, and you got a kid in grammar school wearing like a turban on his head or whatever. Other kids want to point and laugh. Because we don't understand it. We don't get it. It looks funny to us. Just like if somebody, like if a guy dressed like a girl walked in, your first reaction as a human being is not to go, I wonder what that's all about. Your first reaction is anything different from you want to point and laugh. And you had mentioned that, you don't like to go outside because of that. And I get it. It seems to me, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I'm trying to understand. It seems to me like you have come to the conclusion that, like, this is who you are and you don't give a shit what other people think. You're going to do what you want to do, which I totally respect that. You said ever since COVID, you're like, fuck it. This country or this world's going to hell in a handbasket. Anyway, Russia's invading the Ukraine. World War III is starting. Fuck it. Might as well just do whatever I want to do, because everything's going to blow up soon anyway. I mean, that's kind of what I got from what you said in your last video, but at the same time, you obviously, I would imagine that it does hurt your feelings at least a little bit, when you go out and people laugh at you or whatever. And there's this pressure for you to be, quote, normal when you're out among society, but obviously it's not enough pressure to get you to do that. The inside pressure from you to be a genuine person is greater than the outside pressure of you to conform to society. So you, rather than give in to the societal pressure, you give into your own pressure to be genuine and to do what you want, which I think that takes balls to come to that conclusion. So I commend you for that. At the same time, I don't understand those internal pressures that make you want to do that. So I'm asking you to help me understand. I'm asking you to describe it to me. And if you don't want to do that, then I understand. But I think it would help me. I think it would help me understand you better and the trend better. And the funny thing about this whole trans thing is that it's a trend now. It's like a movement. It's a movement that is capturing children. It is. You can't deny the fact that it is luring children, because it's like a big thing now for kids in 6th grade and up, where it's sort of becoming like this snake oil cure-all type of a thing. Like, if you feel like a little bit different, then you're probably a girl trapped in a boy's body or a boy trapped in a girl's body. And it's like people seem to be coming to that conclusion like automatically like, oh, have you ever thought maybe you're a girl trapped in a boy's body? Or a boy trapped in a girl's body? It's almost like the teachers and the powers that be and psychologists and psychiatrists and counselors, like they're like almost like pushing it on kids the same way that you would push um, uh, Ritalin. Your kid has problems paying attention in class, so let's just get him on drugs. Your kid thinks that he's a little bit different from the other boys, so let's just tell him he's probably transgender. Children are very, 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 very subject to suggestion. They're extraordinarily impressionable. Incredibly impressionable. You tell a kid early enough in life that they're a piece of shit, and they will, if you're an authority figure in that kid's life, that is going to be a very compelling thing to tell that child. They're going to be compelled to believe that. You tell a kid that they were born with the wrong genitalia, they're going to be compelled to believe that if it's coming from an authority figure. Now, in your case, it sounds like you weren't necessarily told that, but I don't know. It sounds like you just kind of figured that out on your own, which to me, that sounds a lot more genuine. Yet I still don't understand it, and I want to understand it. So, one last thing you did say in your video, you said something about, I don't think Jesus wants us fighting with each other or whatever. There is a verse in the New Testament that Jesus said. He said, I am not here to unify the human race. I am here to divide the human race. He literally said that. I'll find that verse for you. But he did say it. He said, I'm here to divide brother against brother, father against son, mother against daughter. I don't think he said divide husband against wife. I don't think he said that, but he's like a stumbling block. Jesus is. So how do you really take that? Does that mean that Jesus wants you to be fighting? No. Really what it means is your allegiance, if you're a Christian, is to Jesus. Jesus says, follow me. So if there's a fork in the road and Jesus says to go left and your dad says to go right, what are you going to do? If you're a Christian, you go left. Sorry, Dad. Jesus told me to go this way. I'm going this way. So he's dividing you and your father. Your child wants you to do one thing. You know that that thing that he wants you to do is bad for him, so you don't do it. Say, no, we're not going to do this. Your child gets pissed off at you because you didn't give in to them. You gave in to God instead. Lots of times when you give in to God, you piss people in your family off. That's basically what he's saying. It's basically what he's saying. When you trust God, you're pissing your family off. You're pissing your friends off. Would it really be a Christian walk if you didn't have to give up certain things? Like if you didn't have to make sacrifices and trust and risk pissing off your mother or your father or your brother or your sister or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whoever? Would it really be, would it really be that hard for anybody to be a Christian if you didn't have to do stuff like that? Of course you do. You have to do stuff like that. So, does Jesus want us fighting with each other? No. Does Jesus know that we're going to fight with each other because some of us are going to choose to follow him and others of us are not? Yes. So that's the reality of the thing. So anyway, hope you're doing well. Talk to you later.